The quarterback position is going to be worth paying a lot of attention to on, was it April
18th, I think?
18th, yeah, when they do the spring showcase, and then when things start to get going again in the summer. So I'm with you that I think that most of the attention should be more focused on McCae Hillstead. I think he's the front runner at this point, but don't discount some of these other guys. I know there's a lot of Aggie fans that they're beating the Kaleb Maryland drum really hard, and I get it. There's some things that I really like from his high school tape, and he may whoever starts in or is taking the first team reps in late August, it might be a very different guy who's taking the reps in early November. It's this class of quarterbacks. I don't think it's that clear as far as that separation. So it could be very different when we get into the season.
Well, I think one of the big things to keep an eye on is because my biggest question about Kaleb Maryland isn't whether or not he's talented, isn't whether or not he can be a good college quarterback. I'm pretty confident that he can be those things. At least as confident as you're ever going to be about a freshman that you haven't seen play college ball yet.
Yeah.
Because there's never a guarantee. But to me, one thing to keep an eye on is is he and again, trying to define guys as first string and second string during spring ball can be a little dicey because things can be pretty premature. But if he ends up being your second string quarterback, or heck, if he's your first string quarterback, then things kind of go into crazy mode where it's like, holy cow, this kid is ready now. But if he's a second string quarterback, I think that tells a lot about him. Because yesterday we were hearing Bronco Mendenhall talk about how McCae and Grady Brosterhouse, both veterans. Brosterhouse coming from Virginia, McCae having starting experience. Those two are coming in further along at a better starting point.
Sure.
It's kind of the language that he was using. So they have a head start. But if you're talented enough and if you're smart enough and can work hard enough, that is a gap that can be overcome. We've seen true freshmen start, not always at Utah State and usually not at the start of the season, but we've seen those guys catch up. Heck, McCae Hillstead caught Cooper Legas.
Right. He outperformed Cooper and stole his starting job away a couple different times. And the thing that's to really watch for Kaleb Maryland and then in the future when Brady Goodman gets here is, okay, these guys it looks like they have good talent, but did they succeed at their high school level because of their physical abilities? Or did they also succeed because they could read a defense, because they could deliver a good ball, because they could understand what a defense was doing and adapt and change? Those are things we just don't really know. And sometimes it's hard to really read at the high school level. And so until they get on campus and they're competing with other large men, we can't really tell just how good they are and how ready they are for this level of competition. That's why McCae Hillstead and Grady Brosterhouse are in the lead right now, because they've been at this level. They've had the training, they've had the practices, they've had the physical development, the film development, but doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get the job. But those are part of the reasons why they are ahead. Yeah.
So the key will be can Maryland, in the spring, we'll have Brady Goodman here in the fall. Do they end up battling, Grady Brosterhouse for that? Again, we're making some assumptions here. Who's going to be that second string? Is McCae Hillstead even going to be the first string? We're not 100% sure on that. Again, we're making some assumptions there. But if you see Kaleb Maryland taking second team snaps, that is a very good sign for his development. Because the talent is there, but can he utilize that talent? That's the key. So